We are, in average, a stable production over the 20 last year of 42 million hectares globally and 60 million tons produced every year. With cyclical peak of production. For example, in 2007, we had a sharp increase of sorghum production due to high commodity price for mainstream cereals, which made sorghum more competitive and which increased the demand for this cereal. And recently, in 2014, we had a sharp increase of the Chinese demand, which implied an increase of the global production, principally in the US. Because, as you may know, China had a policy of subsidy for local corn with high domestic prices for corn, which makes the Chinese stakeholders turn to more less expensive inputs like sorghum. So let's have a look on the main producing countries in the world. Globally, you can see that our crop is present all over the world, in all continents, with two major production areas, which are Sub-Saharan Africa and North America. And in these two areas, you can see we have two very different patterns. We are on a subsistence crop in Sub-Saharan Africa, and we can notice that the share of hybrid in this area is quite low still. And at the contrary, we have more intensive and export-oriented production in North America, which take uses in principally feed and industry, whereas in Sub-Saharan Africa, the main use is for food, human food. So yes, as I told, we have globally roughly 60 million tons produced and consumed every year. And among these 60 million tons, you have almost a half dedicated to food uses in grits, in flour, and as I told before, mainly in African countries and as well in Southeast countries. And we have to mention as well that this purpose is increasing as well in developed countries. As Charles-Antoine told before, we will have the occasion to taste product food with sorghum. In northern country, feed use is the main purpose, between 40 and 45%, and it enters in competition with other commodities depending on the prices of corn, of barley, of wheat, and of the politics of each countries. Industrial uses account for around 10% of the global uses. It's ethanol production, brewing, starch industry, etc. And the main users are the USA and China. So let's have a look on the world consumers map. You can see that we have some countries that are self-sufficient, in which sorghum is subsistence crop, Sub-Saharan Africa, India, Brazil. You have other countries who need imports. That are the case for China, Mexico, Japan, and the European Union. And some other countries that are great exporters, principally the USA, but as well Argentina and Australia. So let's have a look further on the evolution of world trade for sorghum. You can see that over the 5-10 last year, we had very lot of changes in the global trade of sorghum, which came from the single to the double, from around 5 million tons a year to almost 12 tons a year in 2014, which was the consequences of the development of the Chinese demand. China became the main player, the main buyer of sorghum worldwide. And the question now is, until when? Because, as I told before, this development of buying of sorghum from China was linked to the high prices for domestic corn. And now that China began to clean the stocks, the local stocks, gave up the policy of subsidy for subsidy prices for corn locally. The question is, what will become the Chinese demand for sorghum? And as well, we have for some months a context of trade war with between China and USA, and this can as well impact the Chinese demand for sorghum. You can see we have a high variability for the demand of Japan and Mexico, for example, and you have other players coming in the game, like Africa, who started to export a little bit, and EU, for which we will see in the next slides. We have a demand, existing demand, and the question is how to supply this demand, from export or from local production. So this is the view of the flows of the global trade of sorghum. As you can see, the main flow is from the USA to China. Question is, what will it look like in the next years? What modification due to the trade relation between China and USA, and what can be the impact on the US production and as well the US markets, export markets? Okay, if we now focus on the sorghum market at the scale of Europe, which is, compared to US and China, still a small market, but with potential. You have to know that the crop of grain sorghum in the European Union account for between 120 and 160,000 hectares each year, with the two main producers who are France and Italy. You have as well significant acreage in the Black Sea region, in Romania and Bulgaria. You have recently a sharp increase in Hungary as well, which is to be mentioned. And except the European Union, if you see Europe globally, the two main players are Ukraine and Russia, with 60,000 hectares in Ukraine and almost 200,000 hectares in Russia. And if you look at the trade flows within Europe, you can see first that the first evidence, you have an existing demand in Europe with some importing places like Spain, Italy, Benelux. You can see as well flows that are developing to Poland. So France is the first supplier for the neighboring country, like Spain and Italy. But these two countries make import as well from Russia and Ukraine. And you can see that we recently could see new suppliers for the European market, which are the USA. Why? Because the USA before used to export a lot to China, but due to the trade war between China and USA, some volume come to the European market, and especially to Spain. And we could see as well recently some flows from Sudan, which are appearing. So, due to the evidence that there is a demand for sorghum, for grain sorghum in Europe, in the European Union, question is how to supply the market from export, from USA, for example, from Ukraine or Russia, or with the development of local production, which is our challenge here in this Congress. Okay, thank you very much for your attention, and we will have the discussion now with our experts.